everybody. Good morning. This is Claudia de Silva here, your favorite red hair realtor in Houston, Texas, originally from Portugal. So the tear just saw me wipe is allergies. Although I am emotional because today we're going to be talking about my country of Portugal. I have an amazing guest with us, Catarina Ferreira. She's one of the most amazing realtors in Portugal. She's in the Silver Coast. And if you're like, what is the Silver Coast? What is this Nazaré? Well, stay tuned. You're going to hear all about it. That's why we're here to talk to you about. So for those of you that don't know, we are locally here in Houston. We also perform transactions in Portugal. We help North Americans to purchase properties in Portugal, either for investment or maybe they're retiring, or maybe they have a property in Portugal that they want to sell to the North American market. And we have a ton of properties for sale here in the US that are located in Portugal. And the services that we provide are not just a transaction, connecting you with the right real estate agents such as Catarina Ferreira, but as well, we have lawyers, we have concierge services, property managers, we have, a one-stop shop where you can come and ask for all the information and we will guide you to the right path. So before we get started, I'm going to actually share a video of the area of Nazaré that is actually part of the project that we are selling here in the US. We can give you more details after this video if you're interested in knowing which properties, the price ranges, and everything else about it. Just reach out. For now, I just want you to watch the video, take it all in, and let me know what you think. Hold on. And go.
Yours, they cut me like a sharp knife. Is it true that I'm the only thing you want? Oh no, no, no. You actually threw me to my hard lives. And it's you, 'cause you're the airways of my lungs. Oh no, no, no. If it hurts that bad, baby, wave that flag, let me down. If it's up to me, then we got both feet off the ground. If it hurts, it's good, even if we should on down. It's a good long fall, but we land on solid ground.
How nice was that, everyone? You got to see a little bit of the area of Nazaré. If you would like to know more about the projects that we are selling in Portugal, feel free to visit our website at Palm Leaf Realty Group. We're here to assist you, or maybe just check our social media at Palm Leaf Realty GR, and we will be able to assist you. Now, why is Nazaré so well known? Because of waves and surfing, but there is more to it, as Catarina is about to explain to all of us. She prepared a small slideshow for you. We're going to go ahead and bring her onto the stage. Hi, Catarina. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you. Good afternoon to us in Portugal.
Yes, what time is it in Portugal right now?
Right now it's 5 p.m. in Portugal.
Awesome. So thank you so much for making yourself available to be here and talk to us about this amazing area of Portugal that is getting so much attention from North Americans right now. But before we go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where do you live in Portugal?
So I do live in the Silver Coast of Portugal. I used to live in Lisbon in the last 5 years, and I did a move now for, let me think, 8 months now. So I'm back to my hometown, which is in the Silver Coast, more or less in the center of it. And I completely changed here because I wanted more quality of life. I wanted to have more time to, and I wanted to be closer to my family as well, and I wanted to grow my own. So I thought it would make a lot more sense for me to actually move from the big city to the Silver Coast, because I find that it's a more laid back atmosphere, and it's also, you have a lot more quality of life if you want to grow your own family or create your own, actually. So that is exactly why I moved. And I have to say that I'm super, super happy with the decision, because I find that I am still super close to Lisbon for anything that I need. But at the same time, I do prefer, and I have a lot more quality of life here. I have like no traffic to go anywhere. And for me, it makes, I feel a lot more happier when I'm surrounded with nature, and this is actually all you see, like you see greenery everywhere and you are super close to the ocean. For me, I had no idea that it was so important before I actually went and live in Lisbon, because I just took that for as guaranteed, you know.
Got it, for granted, absolutely. So you bring a really good point. So whenever I get a client that is interested in moving to Portugal or just inquiring about it, we get a lot of inquiries, about Portugal, because in the last 10 years, probably since COVID more than anything, Portugal became headlines, right? It
Yeah.
became the place to go. People understand now where it is. Portugal is in the map. They know that is not a Spanish country. We are our own country and we speak Portuguese. We don't speak Spanish. So people more and more in North America and Central America are more aware of Portugal as part of being a place good for investment, good for retirement, or just to, have a lifestyle that they want to have. And that's exactly the question I always ask. What kind of lifestyle do you have? Because when they call us or they contact us about Portugal, they're not very sure where they want to land. And that's why we're doing this webinar series. And actually, we're going to have a webinar series that are going to be more in depth coming in 2025. I'm going to let you guys know all about it, or you can visit our website to get more information. But it's about, okay, what is your lifestyle? What are you looking to do? If you're moving to Portugal, what are the things you like to do? Are you employed? You need to be close to schools. Do you have children? Do you travel a lot? So you need to be close to an airport or maybe to a train station, because we have trains that go, to Spain, and from there you can travel anywhere as well. So what is your lifestyle? And a lot of people are looking for alternatives to Lisbon and Porto. Lisbon and Porto are without a doubt, and maybe it's because I'm Portuguese, beautiful cities. They are gorgeous. They have so much history, but like any other big city, they are overpopulated. They have a lot of tourists, and prices are a little bit higher than everywhere else. So, like Katerina was saying, she wanted to be out of the hustle and bustle. She wanted to be close to nature, close to history, and it just so happens that she's actually from there and she has family. And so I didn't think of anyone better to talk to us about the Silver Coast than someone that is actually from the Silver Coast. But the Silver Coast is not just about waves. It has one of the most beautiful places on earth for me, and it's called Ovius. And you have so much to offer. Tell us a bit. Let me see here. You made a really cool presentation for us. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about this Silver Coast.
So really, it's all of what you said. I would say that it's a lot about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Is actually, you are super close to the major cities, as you are super close to Lisbon and also to Porto, because the Silver Coast is really the coast, like all of the line around the ocean, near to the ocean. So it's all of the coast between Lisbon and Porto. And you have these, it's like so proximate to all of the other cities, that makes total sense for you to actually keep your active life in terms of cultural events, festivals, all of that, but still you are surrounded by nature and by history. This is what I find, that that is probably the cherry on top of the cake. Then you have also a moderate climate, so basically for you to live in. And also, if you are thinking, we have a lot of retirees that come and stay and live with us, but you have also people that are actually now starting to look to come here, but to live here and have children. They go to the schools, all of it. So actually, in terms of climate wise, it's like the perfect climate, because it's never too hot and it's never too cold. Compared to, I remember when I lived in Lisbon, it was too, most of the times it was too hot, like in the summer, because it was really, really like almost to 40 degrees, which was not so nice to work. And then you have all of the cost of living, of course, which also, if you compare, I'm actually thinking to do this in the next, one of the things that I'm going to do, it's actually compare the Silver Coast to Lisbon in terms of cost of living, like in terms of rent, in terms of property prices, in terms of if you go to a restaurant to eat out, because it's so much cheaper compared to Lisbon, of course. Then quality of life, I mean, a more laid back atmosphere, because this is where you feel like you look around, and probably because I'm still with like the Lisbon excitement and all of it, sometimes I look around and feel that people are like too slow and just like enjoying and savor every moment. But I believe that that's actually the best part of the Silver Coast, is that you have time to enjoy and to take time to appreciate all that it's around you. Like you don't feel that everyone is always rustling from one place to the other. And then it's also, I just ended with sense of belonging, because it's such, compared to the big towns, you kind of, when you live in a city like a mid-sized city, you actually start to know all of the people, like from the cafe, from the pastry, from the bank, from the grocery shop. And then you just feel that you are like, you have a community sense, which I find very nice. And I know that all of the clients that are relocating here, most of it, they actually want to integrate in the community. So it makes total sense that they like learn Portuguese, at least for like to say bon dia to the people. And you will feel like Portuguese people are so welcome. I know I am a person like that will say that, but we do like to welcome people, and for also from other destinations, other cultures, because we like to exchange personal situations. And I think that's what I would say. What would you add, honestly?
Well, I love hearing you talk. I can see the passion you have for the Silver Coast. I'm so excited that you are one of our top agents in that area, because I think that when I have someone to send over there, they'll feel so welcome and wanted by you and by the environment you're going to be showing them. What I have to add, from someone that goes to Portugal ever so often, has brought all her American family, is that the coast is one of our favorites for many, many reasons. The climate, although it's not as cold or hot as other areas, we actually quite enjoy being from Texas. If it's a little bit cooler, people actually quite enjoy it. And it's super close to Lisbon. So for a lot of people in Portugal, driving an hour can seem like an eternity. But for me in Texas, that's like going to the supermarket, y'all. So that's bad. The cost of living, certainly, like going to a restaurant in Lisbon or Porto, but that is in every big city, right? Like Paris, compared to going to a village 2 hours away from Paris, is a totally different scenario. So that's what happens here. You are going to see, a more moderate cost of living. And yes, a lot of our clients that want to move to Portugal, they start realizing that Portugal is probably not that country where you are going to move to build this career and be a billionaire or a multimillionaire. We don't have this many industries, or the employment is good, but it's not where you are going to become rich, unless if you're an entrepreneur and you're going to open a company. It's more a place for digital nomads. So if you have an employment in a different country and you want to have a super cool life and a more moderate cost of living compared to the US, or if you are retiring and you want to have a country that has safety and healthcare that are good for you, and of course the cost of living. And then, yes, Portuguese are very, very welcoming. As a matter of fact, every time I take Americans to Portugal, I took my family, and this is very, very different than any other country, is that immediately Portuguese people at the restaurants, at the shops, every time they ask, when are you moving here? When are you coming to live in Portugal? And you do not hear that in many other countries. So I must say, I agree with everything you just said. From our perspective, it's great. And I'm so excited to be talking about it. And then we have a lot of history. We have a lot of things that we can see and do. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so if we focus more about Nazaré itself, basically it's very famous for picturesque landscapes, because all you look, it's green and blue between the beach, the ocean, and the mountains, because it's all surrounded. Also, like the moderate climate makes it very green, because in the winter you do have sometimes that rains. So during that the summertime, like nothing is really dry, like compared to Alentejo, for example. And I just wanted to say something. I never mention safety because I completely take it for granted, you know? Like it's not, when you said it's safety, I'm like, yes, of course. Like it's such a safe place on earth, like Portugal and then the Silver Coast. But because we just grew here and we just took it from as granted, I completely forget like how to mention it, but it's so true. Like such a safe place. You can walk everywhere, your children can grow like still in the streets, because you'll know the neighbors and the neighbors will know you. So it's such a nice place for you to also create like memories on your childhood, and how you want to also create your family and raise your family.
You
For
know,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to say that you're so right. When I moved here to the US, I never would think in terms of safety either, because I took it for granted as well. It was never a concern. I mean, in Portugal, I have been at all times of the day and night, like never anything. I have walked in Paris at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with my friends, had a creme brulee, a glass of wine, nothing ever happens. In Holland, I mean, nothing. So in Europe, we're a little bit different. In the US, when we have American clients, one of the first things that they are concerned with next to cost of living, healthcare, is safety. It's
Of
just a North American thing. So I like to mention it, but I'm like you. When before I came here, it wouldn't even. I was like, what? What do you mean I can't walk down the street? What do you mean I cannot go to the gas station walking to buy a pack of cigarettes or whatever that may be? So yeah, it shifted. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, completely. Because you just take it as granted. That's it. You just think that everywhere else is the same, and clearly it's not. Because then, when you have like American clients here, you can completely see like their faces, how they react to stuff, and again, how they just feel so welcome. This is one thing that they always say. So about Nazaré, you have, of course, the landscapes, you have the historic sites. So it's also a very historic, like all of the Silver Coast is very historic. Like every village you'll have, I'm not saying everything, you will have like a castle, but you will have at least like a wall or something that was a castle one day. So it's very like you'll feel surrounded by history everywhere. And we do start, I have one friend that is just starting like a wedding business, and she's saying that a lot of Americans are coming here to Obidos, that you mentioned, just for like coming to have their wedding here, to get married in the castle like a princess. So it just makes total sense, and the Silver Coast has so many to offer, honestly. So it's all about historic sites, warm hospitality, and then of course standout destinations, because what you will see and how you will feel. It's really one experience to have.
Absolutely. One of the things that I like to mention for those of you that don't know, Nazaré actually became famous, I think, pretty much during COVID.
Yep.
Because people were watching stuff online. But McNamara in 2011, for those of you that don't know, he's a soccer dude, very well known, and he rode one of the largest waves in the world. Is on the Guinness Book, and that was in Nazaré. And that is what put Nazaré in the map for a lot of Americans. It's definitely a surfing destination. We wanted to talk about it today because it's not just about surfing, but the sea. The sea, my friends, is definitely part of the DNA of the Portuguese. When you are off from work, you have a weekend, you will see the Portuguese always flock to the sea. We will always include anything, either drinking a cafezinho or have a meal or go chat with friends or go catch the sun in the beach. The sea is part of the makeup of the Portuguese DNA. And we could go deeper into that. I don't want to do that today, but I'm going to let Katerina, talk about this community and lifestyle that you can see that is so different in the Silver Coast.
Yeah. So basically, in Nazaré, I would say that it's very, you'll have two feelings, that it's of course like a laid back community because it is in the Silver Coast, but at the same time it is super vibrant. Like you'll feel the energy of the people that live here, like just this small lady that is seated near the beach. You will, every time you'll pass to one like on the street, you'll feel their energy. They talk like very loud. They are always trying to sell you something. Probably they are the best sellers in the world. And they all started selling the fish that their men went to go to fish on the ocean. And basically about the lifestyle here, you'll have like, it's very vibrant because of the surf, as you said in McNamara in 2011. You'll like, now you'll have events throughout the whole year. First it was really like about the surf. Right now, like the city hall has been very involved with the community and has created a lot of festivals throughout the year. So now it's not a seasonal beach or a seasonal city anymore. You will feel a lot of life like everywhere. You have like, of course, then access to fresh seafood every time, stunning sunsets. It's a very close knit community. You will feel part of the community for sure. Um, and again, it's very laid back, but very vibrant because the atmosphere and the people that live here, you will just feel it, the way they talk to you, how they welcome you, how they embrace you, how probably they will hug you and even they don't know you yet. So
Absolutely, very welcoming. So, you guys, we wanted to bring you these details about different areas of Portugal. I'm sure that if you're watching this video, either now or later on today, it's because you already heard good things about the country. You already know that we are welcoming. You already heard that the climate and the food is good. But we also wanted to bring you a different perspective as far as investment. If you are purchasing a property here for investment, or if you are retiring, or you are active, still working, you have children. Why is this all very important? You know that if you are retiring, you have a lot of activity, but as well, you can take it as laid back as you want, enjoy the seaside country lifestyle, yet being close to major cities, and all of the medical facilities, restaurants, and shopping that you desire. If you are such as a digital nomad, you can live your dream. That's what the Palm Leaf Realty Group is all about. Like it's getting you the best tropical destinations. It happens to be Portugal, where you can live the dream. It doesn't have to just be a dream. You can actually put it in practice. It's achievable, and we can help you get there. If you're looking to invest, very interesting point here. I've had a lot of people contacting me because the golden visa has ended, as many of you know. If you don't know, I just burst your bubble. It has ended, but there is many other ways of investing in Portugal. But why should you? For example, if you want to have a short-term rental or a rental property, or you want to invest in having just a second home, these are all areas that we are going to bring to you that has potential for investment because of the things that Katarina is mentioning. It's not just a seasonal place anymore. Now, all year round, we have events. The food is great, and there's a lot happening, right, Katarina?
yes, every time. And it's just also one thing that's very important for you and for everyone to understand is that the Silver Coast, like even if you live in Nazaré, you are super close to Óbidos, you are super close to the city like Caldas da Rainha. So all of the destinations, all of the cities are close to. Like you are probably in the middle, like you have to drive 30 minutes from one place to the other. So it's nothing as like you have to drive 1 hour as to get to Lisbon, which is still very short of time. But even if you are just in the Silver Coast and if you want to visit and get from one place to the other, like you can easily live in one place and go shopping in the other, have like cultural events just in the other, because and your perspective of how close or how far you are from stuff, it's completely different from us because we live in a small place. So basically for us, driving to Lisbon to Algarve, just go to the beach, is 3 hours. And most of us, we wouldn't never do it. But I know that for you, you'll probably just drive that amount of time just to go like one day or 1 week to the beach. So basically, it's like everything is super, super close, and it will feel super, super close to you. So in terms of cultural events, you always have like medieval stuff happening in Óbidos, gaming's also in Óbidos. You have a lot of festivals everywhere, like street markets, for example, like for fruits, vegetables, or even just for like clothes. So it's everything, like every time you have something happening. And even if it's not in your hometown where you are living, you just get your car in like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you are in the next city. So everything is super, super close. I think you are muted. I would love to hear what you are saying.
I I wanted to share with you guys here the main cities that are in the Silver Coast. We are focusing a lot in Nazaré. It's the most probably well known, but as Katarina was mentioning, we do have a lot of other cities that have so much history making opportunities for investment where you can retire. Aveiro is one of my favorite of all times, and it
Yeah,
wasn't before.
lovely.
It wasn't. But I went there in April. I actually took a group for those of you that don't know, and we are going to have another trip, you guys, 2025, for all the buyers out there wanting to go to Portugal, looking at real estate in person. Aveiro completely blew my mind. Coimbra, I absolutely adore. If you want definitely more of the nature, mountain, countryside, Tomar is a magical place. It puts a big rivalry to Sintra, I must say. Caldas da Rainha is just a fantastic place. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I love it so much. Óbidos is such a beautiful, magical, historical little city. For those of you that don't know, please go Google it right now. Óbidos is a city inside of the castle walls, and it has the best drink in the world. I love it. And we have Bomba House. So I just wanted to show you guys that a little bit because sometimes we're talking and it's hard to kind of put, an image to it. So I just wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
And to
So
show how close it is. Like every city is so close to the next one.
yes, it is. It's very, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's all because we're going not maybe sometimes highways, we're going to country roads. What is the best way to travel? Because you get to see the little towns. And it is true. In the little towns is where you find the best food and the best drinks. So stop, find a good restaurant and eat and continue your trip. It's just so amazing. There is a lot to do. As far as industries, and I'm sure that Katerina can talk a little bit better about this, but we do have a lot of industries in this area. Definitely the wine, the food is happening a lot here. But now the real estate market has taken a boom as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about the real estate market here?
Yeah, so basically, I would say that when the golden visa was like completely booming, everyone was completely looking at Lisbon and Porto. I think they were the main destinations. And then COVID happened, and then we have two shifts here, which was international market but also the national market, like the Portuguese. They started to look at, because they could also work from home, they didn't have to actually commute every time, like every day, to go to the city. These people started to think, or better, like, where would I have a better quality of life, where I would pay less rent, and actually I could go out for dinner more times, where I would have more space to raise my children. And all of these areas that are so close to Lisbon, I would say 1 hour tops, all of these cities started to grow a lot because all of these people, international and also the Portuguese, they started to look at where would I go and have more quality of life. In terms of real estate market, I would also say that you find two very different tastes. You have the ones that are completely in love with the historic architecture that Portuguese have, and you'll find it in every small city. And the centers, like the older centers, you'll always find a castle or a house that looks like a castle. And a lot of international clients are actually buying it and completely like refurbing it inside, or renovate as you want. And then we have also the other ones that actually prefer to buy some land and then do like new construction. And in this case, then you'll have like more modern amenities and also modern looking houses. And then you can do for both, you can do a lot of inside, and you can actually have like good energy certificates, all of that, because you can make sure that your house like has air con for the summertime, and it has like heating system for the winter, which is also very important, because this is one thing. If you are buying an old apartment or a old house, you have to make sure that you prepare it well for the winter, because this was never a concern before when these houses were being built. So now when you renovate it, make sure you always look for having it AC and heating system. Heating system is more important than AC, I have to say.
Absolutely. That's exactly the experience from here. We do have a lot of clients that are looking into the historical properties in these areas, and then there is a huge growth on the luxury side. So, single home residencies with a pool, would you not believe it that they are not in the multi-million dollars? They're actually the prices are very friendly compared to the main cities and many other cities and countries in Europe. Um, I also wanted to talk a little bit about. I had some questions here. What is the cost for groceries? Thank you, Laura. The cost of groceries, for example, in Portugal. I would say for a household, I probably would say 500, 600 euros. You can totally do the whole month. Would you agree with that, Katerina? That's a
500, you said, as a
grocery. Yeah,
household of like
not bad
two
idea.
adults,
Yeah.
two adults, two children?
Yes, for example.
Yes, I would say so, or even less, to be honest.
Yeah, depends on what you eat, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, it depends on what you prefer to buy as well. But I would say yes, you could do that for sure, or even less.
Absolutely. Then I had another question here, like what are the costs more or less of utilities? Well, that depends the size of your home, of course, and how much you consume. But I would say, the medium prices for electric, heat, water, trash, probably are looking about under 150, under 200. So it depends. So as you can see, the numbers are very, very different than in the US. So I think that's people are like, okay, we hear that the cost of life is more affordable, but what does that mean? It's quite a significant. Um, Katerina, I know I didn't ask you this before, but what would a rental go right now in that area? Like a two bedroom? Do you know more or less, like roughly, a two
In
bedroom home?
then that's in that case we have to look at two things, because even that Nazaré is not seasonal anymore, in the summertime you will feel a high, like you'll see that it's going higher for sure. um I would say for like a two bedroom, normally in Nazaré, probably around 600 700 annually. But if we are talking in the summertime, you can get probably like to 1,000.
Okay, and we're talking a month, right? So monthly.
Yes, a month,
Okay,
a month, a
that's
month.
perfect. So again, you guys, for those of you with questions about affordability, of course, we would have to sit down with you and really analyze where do you want to go, what kind of property, because the price also ranges. If you're looking for a property like the one you see with the pool, that probably has 4 or 5 bedrooms, that has 2 or 3 bathrooms, that's more what Americans are looking for, then the prices are going to be higher. But at least you have a little bit of a range if you want to, get started somewhere, rent a place for a couple, for a year or something like that. We can definitely help you with that as well. So thank you for those questions. Let me go on the next slide. Here we go. So tell me a little bit about the tourism and the economy. What's going on there?
Okay, let me just add one thing to the real estate part that we were talking. One thing that's very important, if we are looking at Lisbon, let's compare Lisbon to the Silver Coast.
Okay.
Even the prices are, of course, much lower in the Silver Coast, and the amount of space that you get, it's crazy. Okay, like when I was buying my apartment here, I got an apartment 3 times bigger than the apartment I was having in Lisbon, because you have like bigger bedrooms, bigger living room areas, bigger balconies, bigger outdoor spaces. Okay, I know that's very important also when you are comparing Lisbon to other areas, because you have to think, of course, about the amount that you are spending, but also what you are getting. And in terms of square meters, you are getting a lot more.
Absolutely. This goes back to the beginning of our webinar. It goes back to what is the lifestyle, and what are you trying to achieve? Because a lot of people do prefer. And by the way, you guys, this is the moment to let you know that Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time, we are going to go live with a different colleague. It's going to be in Portuguese from Portugal and Brazil with Miss Giselle, and we're going to talk about modern Lisbon. And the reason is that there is a lot of people that do prefer paying the higher dollar and not having as bigger of a place because they're always out. Like in Lisbon, then makes the perfect destination for them, or Porto, whatever that may be. But in this case, if you are looking for more space, nature, that's why we started to talk about Catarina right today. But if
Yeah.
you missed that initial bit, the Silver Coast is where you can have more of a laid back lifestyle, where you can find bigger properties for less money, pay less taxes. You have access to the best coasts in Portugal, great food, also a lot of history, a lot of monuments. So depending on what are you looking for, a lot of people just really want to be in Lisbon. They really want to be by the American school, because they have kids and that's where they want. They want to be like 10 minutes from the airport. What do we understand? But the Silver Coast is for a different kind of lifestyle, and that's why we're so excited to be here today and present it to you. Like, what can you get in Portugal other than Lisbon and Porto? So there is a lot of tourism we mentioned there, and the economy is flourishing as well, right, Katerina?
Yes, exactly. Since as we started with McNamara in 2011, the tourism took like a very big step, and the city hall really knew what to do. Like they were not just waiting around; they really created all of these events, all of these business. I would say that everything that is related to the ocean completely explode. Like dolphin watching trips, just a sailor trip, everything that it's located like related actually to the ocean, to restaurants, hotels, everything that is related with tourism, it completely explode, and the economy just went crazy actually. So also then you had at that time a high rise in the property values as well, because of that. Because then before Nazaré was just Nazaré for the Portuguese, and after it's Nazaré for the world. So, but everything that it's like surfing events, everything that's related with the ocean and what's around it, it completely explodes.
Absolutely. And that makes sense, right? Because if we
Yeah.
are catering to more people from around the world, we have to improve the infrastructure, we have to modernize. And, one of the things I want to mention is that it's not as easy to modernize or to create infrastructure when we are talking about cities that are thousands of years, when we are talking about cities that are in castles. So I believe that Leiria, that is the state you are in. So I am
Mhm.
focusing primarily in 4 states in Portugal. We have 18. In the US, we have 50. And I focus mainly in Leiria, Lisboa, Porto, and Setúbal. And Leiria has always been one of the most advanced states in Portugal. Even when I used to live in Portugal, we were one of the first ones to start recycling. I will always remember Leiria for it. We have the best universities. It's a very avant-garde, modern state of Portugal, and they have been great with infrastructure indeed. And it's not as easy because when you have thousands of years of cities, it's a little bit hard to do. So tell me, I want to go to the Silver Coast. What are the local attractions that you would recommend?
So, thinking of what we just said about being surrounded with history, surrounded with nature and with the ocean, I would always say do a lot of trips to the castle, go to the small villages to have like the best seafood and just the food that they serve you, because it's really like it's real food. And we used not, I used to call, but now I completely call it, the Silver Coast is what I used to say like the real Portugal, because it's not, you still see, like you will always see a lot of Portuguese, where they raise their families. You'll feel welcomed by them. And basically, it's all about the history, the nature, and the ocean here. And all of that just brings you a lot of like quality of life, because you are like, even for your mental space, like your head, it's perfect for you just to like to do a hiking trail, go to a cultural festival, do a boat tour, just watching some dolphins. This is one of the hundred things that you can do. Or just go to a castle and see the sunset, and you'll feel that you are in a movie, but no, you are actually in your own life. So it's lovely.
Absolutely. Portugal, very well known for crafts, pottery, cork production. You will see a lot of the little stores, souvenirs, markets that has a ton of those handmade artifacts. Nazaré is very well known for having some specific and as well some traditional food. Every state, every city has their traditional dish.
Yeah.
Nazaré without exemption. Definitely a lot of aquatic activities as well. So if you love being on the water, although the waves are big at some point, they're not always mega waves. Not all year round. Okay, so there is a lot of activities you can do on the water. I believe you can do a lot of dolphin watching. A lot to do for sure. The surfing museum in Nazaré is very popular right now because of
Hmm.
Niagara, but there is a lot of other things to do as well.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else that you want to share with us, Katerina, about the Silver Coast? Is there anything else that we missed?
I wasn't prepared to share anything else. I would just leave an invitation and completely say, come, experience it, because once you come and see it, once you live in it for some time, it's always one thing I say also to my clients, which is just, if you want to come, just don't come always in the summer or in the winter. Stay longer, not just come for like 1 or 2 days, so you actually see how it is to live here. But all of the infrastructures, all of the mid-sized towns and villas and cities, they have everything that you have to do like with your daily life. And then you are always super close to be to the beach, to go and see the sunset. So all of this balance between nature and your life, it just gets so easy. It's one thing I would say is that what you just said, which is like, you wouldn't choose this part of Portugal to become rich, because that is not going to happen. But for you to feel like rich in your life and being surrounded with people that makes you good, and just everything that you look, it brings you like peace of mind. So this is the place for that richness for sure.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to top on that, when people think about Portugal, we're not talking about like moving to New York or, these are not a high capitalist country where there is, Fortune 500 companies and things like that. But there is a lot of opportunity still. So if you are in the tourism industry, if you want to be on the hospitality and service industry, there's definitely a lot of opportunities in Portugal. So I know that having, your bed and breakfast, Airbnbs, these are things that are very, very popular. The rural tourism is very popular in Portugal as well. People want to go to the countryside. The most beautiful houses for vacationing are on the countryside. They're not even by the beach. I absolutely adore them. So
It's
if you
true.
are looking, right, Katerina?
Yeah.
So if you're looking to have a relaxed lifestyle, if you're maybe looking to retire or even investing until you are ready to retire, reach out. After this video, we will be in touch with you. We can do a consultation and then connect you with the agent in the area. And of course, if it's Silver Coast, most likely will be Catarina Ferreira because she's just so awesome. Catarina, thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time.
Thank you. I hope to see you too. Okay, this invitation is also for you. You have to come and see me again.
I am. I'll be there very, very soon. You know, Obidus is a must stop for me, and I'll be there very soon. I'll let you know
I
soon.
know.
Okay?
Okay, we will drink a ginginha together.
Yes, the favorite drink in Obis for sure. I love it in the chocolate glass.
Exactly. Chocolate yes, so then we can also eat it for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Katerina. Everyone, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can always ask any questions on our social media. You can also go to our website. We are here to help you. Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.